G'day, welcome back to Plugged In Australia Quick Charge, the shorter version of the show for when you want the main EV news without the full deep dive. And this is episode 71 for Thursday, the 23rd of July, 2026. And Chery's revealed more details about its Stockman diesel plug-in hybrid ute. XPeng is effectively relaunching itself in Australia with 5 new models across 6 months. And BYD has increased compensation for customers caught in its recent build date mistake. We also have new luxury electric people mover, another Chinese EV brand testing locally, and a warning that Australian car buyers can wait more than a year to enforce their consumer rights. Let's get into it. Chery has released more information about the Stockman, its first Australian ute, ahead of an expected launch during the fourth quarter of 2026. And unlike the petrol plug-in hybrid systems used by the BYD Shark 6, the GWM Cannon Alpha plug-in and the GAC plug-in hybrid, the Stockman combines electric motors with a 2.5-litre turbo diesel engine. Chery is quoting combined outputs of 350 kilowatts and 800 newton meters. That gives it the same power as the incoming Shark 6 performance, but another 100 newton meters of torque. The Stockman is also targeting a 3.5-tonne braked towing capacity, although its final payload, gross vehicle mass and gross combination mass have not yet been confirmed. Now, those figures will be critical because a headline towing capacity doesn't always mean a ute can carry a large family, accessories and a heavy trailer at the same time, and Chery is claiming up to 100 kilometres of electric driving under the older and fairly optimistic NEDC testing cycle. The final battery capacity has not been confirmed, and we also don't know the AC or DC charging speeds. And even if the real-world electric range ends up closer to 70 or 80 kilometres, that could still allow many owners to complete normal weekday driving without using too much diesel. And the Stockman will use leaf-sprung rear suspension, selectable front, centre and rear differential locks, all-terrain tyres, a crawl-controlled and a tight turn function. Ground clearance is listed at no less than 247 millimetres. It also is a pretty large ute, measuring 5,450 millimetres long and 2,010 millimetres wide. The tray is 1,560 millimetres long, 1,560 millimetres wide, and 500 millimetres deep. More than 5,000 expressions of interest and approximately 1,000 pre-orders have reportedly been recorded before pricing's even been announced. And Stockman looks very promising, but the final test will be how the diesel, electric motors and battery perform with a heavy trailer, a low battery charge, and a pretty hot Australian summer. XPeng is effectively relaunching itself in Australia under a new factory-backed operation. The brand originally arrived through independent distributor True EV with the G6 electric SUV, but that relationship later broke down and the two companies are now involved in federal court proceedings. XPeng has since taken direct control of its Australian operation and says it plans to introduce 5 vehicles across approximately 6 months. Now, that figure includes the heavily updated G6 already on sale, followed by 4 additional models, the X9 electric people mover, the smaller L03 SUV, the large G9L SUV and the L05. The updated G6 range now begins at 51,800 before on-road costs for the rear-wheel drive standard range, and it uses a 68.5 kilowatt-hour LFP battery, produces 185 kilowatts and 440 newton meters, and offers 480 kilometers of claimed WLTP range. The rear-wheel drive long range costs 56,800 and receives an 80.8 kilowatt-hour battery, 218 kilowatts and 525 kilometers of range. The all-wheel drive performance is 63,800 with 358 kilowatts and 660 newton meters with a claimed 0 to 100 time of 4.15 seconds. And depending on the version, the updated G6 can accept up to 451 kilowatts of DC charging and complete the claimed 10 to 80% charge in around 12 minutes, and that's obviously under ideal conditions. Now, very few Australian chargers can currently deliver that much power, but even on a 350 kilowatt unit, the G6 could be one of the fastest charging family SUVs available here. The wider rollout is pretty ambitious. The X9 is arriving first, the L03 is expected during the fourth quarter of 2026, and the G9L and L03 are intended to follow around the end of 2026 and into the first quarter of 2027. XPeng says it now has around 25 Australian showrooms with longer-term plans for approximately 50 locations. It also has established a Melbourne parts warehouse with FedEx logistics support. And private customers will receive a 7-year unlimited kilometre vehicle warranty, while the battery and electric drive components are covered for 8 years or 160,000 kilometres. Now, the real test will be whether the newly factory-backed operation can deliver reliable parts supply, software updates, servicing and warranty support. And after the disruption surrounding True EV, Australian buyers will need more than an impressive specifications. XPeng now has to prove that it can look after its customers properly. Continuing it on with XPeng, the second model in the local range will be the X9 electric people mover. The front-wheel drive standard range will start from 89,900 before on roads. The all-wheel drive performance will be 109,900. Standard range will use a 94.8 kilowatt-hour LFP battery and offer 535 kilometres of claimed WLTP range. The performance receives a 110 kilowatt-hour NMC battery, 580 kilometres of claimed range, and outputs of 370 kilowatts and 640 newton meters. XPeng claims a 10 to 80% charge can take as little as 12 minutes with peak charging of about 542 kilowatts. Again, finding a charger capable of providing that much power, that'll be the hard part. The X9 is a genuine 7-seater with second-row captain's chairs, heated third-row seats, and 721 litres of claimed luggage capacity with all seats in use. It also includes rear-wheel steering, dual-chamber air suspension, a 21.4-inch rear entertainment display, a 27-speaker audio system, and a refrigerator capable of cooling or heating its contents. Now, it is more expensive than the Denza D9, but considerably cheaper than that Zeekr 009. For large families, airport operators, and chauffeur services, the X9 may be one of the most practical electric vehicles arriving this year. And BYD has increased compensation for customers who were sold vehicles described as 2026 builds when they had actually been manufactured during 2025. Now, the original offer was $1,100. That has now been increased to $3,500. The higher payout also applies retrospectively, meaning customers who already accepted $1,100 should also receive the additional amount. Affected vehicles include examples of the Atto 3, Sea Lion 8, and Shark 6. There is no mechanical or safety defect involved. The problem is that incorrect manufacturing information was entered into BYD's internal customer management system and then passed to dealerships and buyers. Affected customers can now keep their vehicle and receive the $3,500 request a full refund or exchange it for an equivalent vehicle genuinely built during 2026. Approximately 72% of affected owners have reportedly chosen the compensation. More than 350 have selected either a refund or replacement. The revised payment is a much more serious response than the original offer. The next test is whether BYD can effectively process these claims without customers having to repeat themselves and chase dealerships for information that the company already has. And XPeng has also announced that it will assess unpaid cashback offers made by former distributor True EV. True EV offered $3,000 cashback on some G6 models during November of 2025, later increasing the offer to $5,000 for eligible vehicles ordered before the end of December. Now, some customers reportedly never received that payment. XPeng Australia says those owners should first approach True EV or the original dealership. Where the claim remains unresolved, XPeng will assess the documents and may pay the outstanding cashback on a goodwill basis. And that doesn't mean XPeng is accepting legal responsibility for every promise made by True EV, but it's the right customer service response. The original G6 buyers took the biggest risk on the brand, and they should not lose thousands of dollars because the manufacturer and its former distributor are now fighting it out in court. And a review commissioned by the Australian Automotive Dealer Association has warned that Australian car buyers can face major delays when trying to enforce consumer law rights. The report says manufacturer approval for repairs or buybacks can take 6 to 8 weeks. Where a dispute reaches a state tribunal, that process can extend 12 to 18 months. The central problem is that the selling dealer is legally responsible to the customer, while the manufacturer may control the software, replacement parts, technical information, and approval for an expensive repair or refund. The review recommends stronger and earlier manufacturer involvement, clearer time limits, better rules for vehicle buybacks, and stronger financial protections where a new importer leaves Australia. This is particularly relevant as vehicles become much more software dependent. A high voltage battery or control system problem may require specialist tools, manufacturer approval, and parts that cannot be sourced locally. That does not mean EVs are generally unreliable. It means that when a serious software or battery problem does occur, the owner can be heavily dependent on the manufacturer. Australia has very strong consumer rights on paper, but a legal remedy arriving 18 months later is not much comfort to someone who needs their car for work or family transport. And XPeng's smaller L03 electric SUV has now been spotted testing in Sydney ahead of an expected Australian launch during the fourth quarter of 2026. Global versions offer a 58.3 or 71.2 kilowatt hour batteries, up to 520 kilometres of claimed WLTP range, and DC charging at up to 236 kilowatts. Now, local pricing has not been announced. However, speculation suggests XPeng may try to position it below the G6 in the $40,000 range. Another Chinese model, the Avatr 07, has also been spotted testing in New South Wales after an earlier Melbourne sighting. Avatr is backed by Chinese car maker Changan, battery giant CATL, and Huawei technology. The battery electric 07 can produce up to 440 kilowatts in all-wheel drive form, with right-hand drive export versions offering around 463 to 488 kilowatts of claimed WLTP range. It also uses an 800-volt architecture and can reportedly charge at up to 420 kilowatts. Now, there is still no confirmed Australian launch date, distributor, or price. And finally, Volkswagen has revealed the production version of the ID Cross electric SUV. The ID Cross is similar in size to the petrol-powered T-Cross and offers either a 37 or 52 kilowatt-hour battery. Claimed WLTP range is between 316 and 427 kilometres. The larger battery supports up to 105 kilowatt DC charging, while the smaller battery tops out at 90 kilowatts. Volkswagen Australia says the ID Cross is under serious consideration for our market, but it has not yet been confirmed. Could provide Volkswagen with a bit of a more affordable EV, although it will face very strong competition from Chinese and Korean brands by the time it arrives. That is your quick charge for today, Thursday, the 23rd of July, 2026. A little bit of a slightly longer quick charge. Got to get to about 13 minutes there, but we're now back into the regular layout of our episodes there. So quick charge a few times during the week, and then we'll have the deep dive that'll either come out on Friday or Saturday, depending on how long the episode is and how long it takes me to get it all recorded and out to you. As always, thank you so much for your time. Any feedback, info@pluggedinaustralia.com.au. If you want to dive in deeper to some of these stories, make sure you check out the full-length episode. As I said, will be on Friday or Saturday of this week. Thank you so much for listening, and until the next time, stay plugged in and stay charged. Ci vediamo.